Boom. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy, what was it, Wednesday now? Yeah, happy Wednesday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a little bit of collaboration beer between Untitled Art, which is out of Waunakee, Wisconsin, and Humble Forager, which is another brewery, kind of, I think Waunakee is a little bit out of Madison, so they're both out of Waunakee. And Humble Forager does some really interesting stuff to where they only distribute beer. They don't have like a tap room or anything like that. And Untitled Art does a lot of brewing for a lot of different breweries out there. They have a big facility, so when it comes to just maybe a smaller brewery that doesn't have the space to possibly brew the stuff they want to brew, Untitled Art definitely does kind of work with that and brew some stuff for other people. So we're going to be taking a look at a collaboration between Humble Forager and Untitled Art, which is a 10% ABV Imperial Stout called the Trail Mix Stout. So this one definitely intrigued me because I've had a bunch of different pastry stouts from Untitled Art, and they've been some of the best pastry stouts I've ever had. I'm going to be straight up honest. The stouts that I've had from Untitled Art have been phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And Humble Forager definitely makes some really good stouts as well. I've had a couple of them from them. So I'm kind of curious to see where they put their heads together and kind of create this nice kind of collaboration beer of a very, very interesting sounding Imperial Stout. When it comes to trail mix, you think of a lot of different things. You think of nuts, raisins, a little bit of all the different kind of other stuff in there, dried fruits, all kind of stuff in there. So I'm kind of curious if there's going to be like fruitiness in this, if there's going to be like nuttiness or anything like that. I don't know, maybe. I'm really, really curious how they're going to do this, because if they use like actual peanuts, of course you might get a little bit of an oiliness on the top of the beer after you pour it because of the natural oils that come in the peanuts. So I'm really curious if that's going to be a factor in it as well. But with the sweetness, of course you're thinking there's going to be chocolate in there, because when you think of trail mix, you think of like M&Ms being in there and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really, really curious of how they kind of put this together, of a nice balance between them, maybe like a fruity flavor, some like nuttiness, and then maybe a little bit of a chocolatey note in there as well. So let's crack this thing open and see what this thing's all about. Of course, it's at 10%, so you guys know by now I would not consider this beer sessionable whatsoever. So let's crack this thing open and see what we get on the nose. Let's see. Oh yeah, definitely getting chocolate, that's for damn sure. A little bit of like a fruitiness coming through, but not too much. Definitely getting mostly like almost like an M&M-y kind of chocolatey note. Maybe it's like a milk chocolate or maybe a semi-sweet chocolate kind of note that's going to be in there. But yeah, it smells delicious. It smells absolutely delicious. So I'm going to be drinking this out of my 311 little tulip glass from, I forgot. These guys are in Florida. I forgot where the name of what the name of the brewery is. But let's pour this thing and see what it's all about. I'm not sure if it's going to be syrupy when it comes to like mouthfeel. Of course, when it comes to pastry stouts, there's a good chance it will. But look at that. As dark as my soul, a little bit of a head. Definitely getting a little bit thicker once we get on the end of the pour. So I'm wondering if that's maybe some of the peanuts or anything in there that's kind of creating like a little bit of a thicker pour at the end. But overall, yeah. Black as my soul. Not really much I guess a little bit of carbonation. There's definitely a little bit of stuff floating at the top. I wonder if that's maybe peanuts or anything like that. So, but yeah, still getting a very, very predominant chocolate note. A little bit of like a dried fruit kind of smell as well. Of course, if you know what dried fruit smells like, it's definitely something that you would recognize in this one. And to be honest, I am seeing a little bit of an oiliness when it comes to the top of the glass. So I'm wondering if they maybe actually did use peanuts in this, just because you can see that kind of this very, very light film at the top of it. But that's something that you normally see when it comes to beers that add peanuts or peanut butter, all that kind of stuff, just because there's natural peanut oils that will get into the beer and create that kind of almost film at the top. So let's give this guy a try and see what this thing's all about. So cheers, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Whoa. Okay, that's very, very good amount of sweetness coming through. A little bit of a booziness. It's actually a lot boozier than I thought it would be. Well, of course, the 10%. Of course, you're going to get booziness out of it. But really, really nice milk chocolate flavor coming through the front. It's almost like you took a handful of M&Ms and put it in your mouth kind of situation. Definitely getting a little bit of a peanut kind of thing. I don't know if it kind of reminds me of peanut butter almost. But definitely getting a good peanut flavor in there. Definitely there is a fruitiness. It's the fruitiness in it is definitely like the lightest kind of note you get in this one, but I think it almost kind of brings in that almost dried fruit kind of element to it, so where it's like if you took a handful of trail mix, which involves peanuts, chocolate, dried fruit, and put it in your mouth, That's pretty damn close to what the flavor you're getting. That's really, really nice. It has a really, really good sweetness to it that I'm really enjoying. But most of the time, when I try this one, it's just predominantly just nice chocolatey note. Of course, like I said, the chocolate is to me, is the most predominant flavor in this one, even though it's absolutely delicious. This is fan-fucking-tastic. Oh yeah, that's good. And you can see a bunch of stuff floating around in there, so I wonder what kind of peanuts are used, and maybe if they let a little bit through. But let's look over here on Untappd and look at some similar beers to this one, because if you can't get your hands on this one from an Untitled Art, there might be some other options here. It looks like some of these breweries that I'm about to list are breweries overseas, so this one is definitely going to be an interesting kind of situation. So let's look here and see if any of these are in the U.S. So we got one here from Troeg's Independent Brewing called the Impending Descent, which food low. It's a 9.1% Russian Imperial Stout. Where are these guys out of? Okay, so these guys are out of Hershey, Pennsylvania. So Troeg's Independent Brewing, you may be able to have similar flavors when it comes to this Impending Descent. Let's see. Let's see what they say. Release conceit of the mail-in calendar. Okay, it doesn't really give you any kind of what kind of flavors you're getting on this one in the description. But if it's a Russian Imperial Stout, definitely going to be more of a drier stout, a little bit more of a bitterness to it. Maybe have more of those roasty kind of flavors. So I don't know if I'd consider this one similar. Of course, we got another one here from Untitled Art called which I'm not going to even read off, just because if you can't get your hands on this one, you most likely can't get your hands on the other one. Then we got one here from Brewery Keys. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but where are these guys? It's their caramel fudge stout, which these guys are out of the Netherlands. So this is a nice kind of European stout. That's a caramel fudge stout. This one might be pretty close. I think this one may give you similar flavors when it comes to the chocolatiness, and maybe the caramel kind of fudge kind of situation might give you that deep kind of chocolate flavor. And then the last one we got here is from Orca Brow. It's the Black Tooth Grin, which is a 6.4% milk stout, and these guys are out of Germany. So we got a German brewery in here. So a couple European breweries showing up on the similar beers list for this one, which is actually pretty cool. I like that. And to be honest, if I had to pick the most similar one to be with this one, I'm probably going to go with this beer from the Netherlands, because it's caramel fudge stout. You're going to get those chocolatey notes. The caramel is going to add a nice sweetness to it. You're not going to get more of like a peanut kind of raisiny kind of flavors in there, but you're going to get a lot of those chocolate notes. And if you're just looking for something that is going to be similar, since this one is most predominantly chocolate, that one might give you a similar experience. So I'm going to go with this caramel fudge stout from Brewery Keys. I don't know if I'm even saying that right, but let's look over here at the description of this one on Untappd while we're here, and let's read and see what it says on here. So, Imperial Stout made with our very close friends Humble Forager. As the weather is warming up, it's a good chance to get back outside and get out and experience nature. And what's the all-time preferred, universally agreed hiker's choice of snack? We give you Trail Mix Stout. It's got a little bit of everything: sweet, salty, fruity, nutty, chocolate. By blending raisins, toasted coconut flakes, apricot puree, peanut butter powder, milk sugar, and chocolate together, you'll find a flavor reminiscent of the famous snack with the added bonus of booze. Pairs best with the campfire, trees, pretty much anything outdoors. Okay, I did not expect the coconut flakes to be in there. I don't really taste any of the coconut in there. But one thing I want to talk about really quick is when they say they add peanut butter powder. So when you're making beer, especially with you're adding anything peanut butter, there's two options usually that you can make when it comes to having something with peanut butter in it. You can use peanut butter you get from the store, but that's going to be a little bit messier cleaning up the fermenter and all that kind of stuff, because that's most likely at the time you're going to add it. But also, the powder definitely kind of adds that peanut butter flavor. To me, the powder brings in a more dry peanut kind of flavor instead of like using actual peanut butter, and sometimes you get that creaminess from the peanut butter to kind of mingle in with the beer to help it get a little extra creamy. But if you're using peanut butter powder, you're just going to go in there just for that straight flavor of peanut/peanut butter. So I'm really interested that they did that peanut butter powder. I'm trying to think. I know we have some of the peanut butter powder back at the brewery. I don't know any ones offhand that we've used it on lately. But overall, yeah, this one from Untitled Art is absolutely fantastic. I'm a really, really big fan of this one. So let's see here. Of course, like I said before, it's a 10% ABV. You know right off the bat that I would not consider this beer sessionable one bit. 10%, you're going to have one of these and you're definitely going to be feeling it. And with over 4,628 ratings on Untappd, this one has an average rating of 4.07 out of 5, which is pretty damn good. So let's look here down at the ratings. And first, we got to look at my friends list, see who checked this one in. Of course, there's one I already know that's going to be on there, which is my father. He checked this one in back in October, and he gave it a 4 out of 5, purchase off Tavor, which you guys hear me talk about Tavor all the time. I don't really think I need to mention what they're all about. And then we got one here that my uncle checked in, since I think we got 3 of them just for me, my dad, and my uncle to get when we purchased it. So he didn't give it a rating. He usually doesn't. He just uses Untappd as like a kind of a catalog of beers that he's drank. So let's go back here to the global ratings and see what other people had to say. So this guy gave it a 2.5 out of 5, which is very, very interesting. He didn't give a reason why. Let's see. We got a 4.5 here saying really nice flavor, smooth, and then a little sweetness is great. Yeah, the sweetness in this one is really, really nice. And of course, we got some European check-ins, which I need to press to translate because I have no idea what the hell this guy said. So saying this is delicious, a bit of toffee, caramel, and coffee. Yeah, I don't really get coffee in this at all. I get the chocolate. I don't really get caramel. Just to me, it's chocolate, almost like a dried fruit flavor. Maybe it could be the apricot in there. To me, it's more of a raisiny kind of fruit flavor coming through that's adding a little bit of sweetness. And then the peanut butter is a nice kind of mix between, like, it doesn't really add creaminess, but it almost tastes like creamy peanut butter. That's the funny thing about it. So with using that peanut butter powder, it can kind of almost give the flavor of creaminess with the peanut butter flavor in there without kind of adding that extra creaminess of using like creamy peanut butter and stuff. So this, and going back to this check-in, this guy purchased this one at Mr. Hop, which, where is this place at? Okay, so it's in Limburg. I have no idea where that is. Maybe around Germany or something like that. But let's look here. Another overseas purchase. Wondering if this one's probably in Germany as well, because I can't even pronounce where that one was purchased at. And he gave it a 4 out of 5. Another German location. Looks like the same location as before. Another 4 out of 5. This guy gave it a 2.75. We got another 4 out of 5 here. Purchased at Preferred Liquors, which is in Santee, California. So, and all he said was yum. We got a 4.25 here saying yum, definitely tastes like trail mix. Tasty. Yeah, definitely agree. 4.25 rating right there. Let's see. This guy purchased his off craftbeershop.com, which is, looks like it's a online beer store overseas, and he gave it a 4.75 out of 5. Let's do 2 more. Another 4.25 purchased at Mr. Hop, which is another place overseas. And the last one we're going to look at here, let's see if I can... Okay, was able to translate for this one. So he gave it a 3.75 saying... cocoa, coconut, and peanut butter on the nose. The same thing in the mouth with a milky taste. Coconut flakes float in beer. That should be 10%. If yes, alcohol included in class. Interested in delicious brew, but 1 is enough. So he liked it. Of course, maybe that might be the coconut flakes floating around in there. To me, it looks like the leftover kind of peanut butter powder stuff that's in there. Of course, when it comes to flakes, you're going to see a little bit more of a flaky note in there. I think it's more of the stuff that came along during the transfer, or maybe when it was getting kegged during the canning line or anything like that. Sometimes when you're transferring over a beer, you kind of want to get some of that stuff out. Sometimes it's just inevitable that you're going to get some of like the stuff in there to, when it's transferring over to even kegging or canning, you're going to get a little bit of residue-y stuff when it comes to maybe the powdered peanut butter, the flakes of the coconut, all that stuff. It's just inevitable. You're going to get stuff to transfer over. You cannot completely get rid of every little particle that's going to show up in the beer, especially when you pour it in a glass. Sometimes you're just going to see little particulates floating in there, but that's okay because that's concentrated flavor for me. So with all these check-ins being looked at, yeah, some pretty good ratings, some interesting ones to where they're a little bit lower. I'm curious why they gave it such a low rating. A lot of those low ratings didn't really give a reason why, but let's start trying to figure out what we're going to be doing for ratings on our end over here. So, first off, we always look at can art. And you know by now, Untitled Art has a really kind of simple and just token kind of style of can art that they do. They have usually the name of the brewery right there. Of course, it's going to whitewash out. So you have the Untitled Art. And then above the Untitled Art, if it's a collaboration beer, they'll usually let you know what brewery they collabed with on this one. So right on above the Untitled Art, it says Humble Forager. And then they'll usually do the line in the middle saying the name of the beer, so this is the Trail Mixed Stout. And then they kind of take advantage of the leftover space that they have. I've seen a lot of the stouts that I usually get, especially with the pastry stouts from Untitled Art. They'll usually be in 12-ounce cans, which is fine. So this is a smaller can. So this reminds me of a lot of the stuff that I normally see from Untitled Art. The artwork on it is simple but classy. When it comes to like what Untitled Art has done to kind of put themselves out there as a higher quality craft beer in the state of Wisconsin, all I need to do is just see that Untitled Art kind of can, and I know I'm most likely going to have a pretty damn good experience, because I don't think I've had a beer from Untitled Art that I have not enjoyed. So take that for what it is. They're making some fantastic beers over there, so big shout out to them. So let's see here. If I got this beer in a flight at Untitled Art, if they had a tap room, I don't remember seeing if they do or not, would I get another one? Absolutely, absolutely. I'm a really, really big fan. Everything is really, when it comes to flavors, like I said, the predominant flavor is chocolate, but you still get those subtle notes of everything else, like the peanut butter, almost the peanutty kind of nutty kind of flavor, and of course that dried fruit kind of flavor in there, adding a little bit of like fruity sweetness along with it. So I think they absolutely knocked it out of the park with this one. This one's absolutely delicious. So again, big shout outs to Untitled Art and Humble Forager for coming together and making a really, really nice kind of trail mixed out. I never thought this would be something that would kind of be up my alley, but it is. So let's try to figure out here what my final rating on this guy is going to be. It's going to be a tough one, but I love that chocolate flavor. I absolutely love the like upfront like milk chocolate, almost M&M-y kind of chocolate flavor that comes through. So I think I'm going to give this a solid 8.75 out of 10. Really, really delicious. If you can get your hands on this one, I would highly, highly recommend it. Untitled Art is doing really, really good stuff over there when it comes to their stouts. If you have the opportunity to pick up any stout from Untitled Art, just don't hesitate. Just do it. If you're a fan of pastry stouts, Untitled Art should be on the top of your list of beers to look out for when it comes to pastry stouts. They're that good. They definitely have some voodoo magic fuckery happen over there when it comes to making their recipes so spot on with what the flavor profile they're trying to create. I think they're just they've honed their craft over there. That's for damn sure. And plus, having the kind of help with Humble Forager being in there, kind of getting this recipe down perfect, I think those two breweries work together really, really well. I know this isn't probably the first beer that they've collabed with Humble Forager on, so I would love to try some of the other stuff they've worked together on. But overall, yeah, this beer is absolutely fantastic. So 8.75 out of 10 for this one. Like I said, if you can get your hands on this one, do it. Just absolutely do it. If you're a fan of peanuts, chocolate, peanut butter in your beer, you will most likely enjoy this one. Absolutely, for sure. So with that being said, I think that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are amazing. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well, along with that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live, do another review. And of course, if you want to see what I'm doing on other platforms, you can always look in the description. There's a couple options for you. You got my Instagram down there, which kind of gives you updates on daily posts of what I'm be reviewing that day, doing some beer hand checks and all that stuff. So if you want to shoot me a follow on there, more than welcome to. Of course, you can give me a friend request on Untapped. You guys hear me talk about Untapped all the time, what I like to call it Facebook for beer drinkers. If you're a craft beer fan and you're not on Untapped yet, you're missing out, because it's a fantastic platform. You can check in beers, get badges, all that kinds of stuff. It's a really, really cool. Plus, you can use it on Android or iPhone, or you can even use it through your desktop. So it's very versatile when it comes to ease of use and all that kind of stuff. So, and finally, if you guys want to support me any other way when it comes to my content creation, I do have a Patreon available as well, where you can join a tier and have the ability to win a 4-pack per month is what I do. I give away a free 4-pack of Illinois craft beer. So 4 random beers from different breweries within the state of Illinois. And you have the opportunity to win yourself a 4-pack. I know I don't think he's in here right now, but we've already done our first drawing for our first winner from April. So keep on an eye on my Instagram or Patreon within the next week or so. I'm going to start kind of giving you guys hints of what May's 4-pack of the month is going to be. So if you want to support me that way, give me a little extra coin to get some beers out for review. That's always appreciated. Plus, you have the opportunity to win yourself some Illinois craft beer, along with possibly getting the opportunity to purchase some custom glassware, shirts, all that kind of stuff I plan on happening. And so just keep an eye out for that. Of course, link to my Patreon's down in the description below. Of course, it's in my link tree and my Instagram as well. So just, if you want to join, I'm not pressuring into you, but it would be greatly appreciated. But other than that, let's see. I think that's pretty much it. So, again, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are amazing. And I'm going to end this like I always end it before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see you all next time. Cheers.